East of Lone Pine at dusk, we found ourselves looking down over Owens Valley with Mount Whitney in the background, the tallest mountain in the conterminous United States. The vast sights felt serene as we climbed higher, but the road got more adventurous, and soon we would be arriving in a very historical American spot. As most of this trip went, we were constantly debating how much time to spend in each setting when we encountered the perfect light conditions. Sometimes you missed the best shots because you held true to the set schedule, but other times you stumbled across it because you hung out just a little bit longer. I just can't help but think of how difficult navigating these parts must have been before modern technology. Up at an 8,000-foot elevation, Cerro Gordo Ghost Town is an incredible relic that all Americans really should see for themselves. Before Los Angeles, there was Cerro Gordo. Mining was the catalyst that brought people from all over the world to these parts of North America. In 1872, Lone Pine was devastated in an earthquake that caused Owens Lake to shift to the south and cover the road to Los Angeles. It seemed that we were the only people up here, and as it got dark, it felt a bit lonely. At the last moment, a stern-faced sentry approached and asked what we were up to. After we told him our plans to continue east from here, down the rugged road to Death Valley, his concerned face became kind and friendly and gave us an impromptu education on a couple of things.
Well, I used to work for Toyota, so I appreciate Toyotas.
Yeah, it's been a great vehicle for me so far, that's for sure.
Well, they don't get much better than that.
Yep.
House 1868.
Wow.
And that church-looking thing,
Yep.
wipe that thought out of your mind. There never was a church, school, or jail up here. That used to be a garage with a grease pit built in 1915. When the owner's wife passed away in 2001, they converted that into a movie theater and chapel. Now we're listing to starboard 5 degrees, so if you think you're walking a little bit crooked, yes you are. This was 1871. It was built by a British guy named John Simpson, and after the first use of the stove that's still back in the kitchen, they discovered that the damn stove took an hour and a half to get it to operating temperature. So they had to make this a 24-hour restaurant.
Huh.
I'm sorry, the bartender's already gone.
This town used to average a murder per week. I can almost feel the chaos as I imagine how busy it once was.
Wood don't grow on trees up
Yeah.
here, unfortunately. They had this all cut down by 1873.
Really?
Yeah. This was the biggest lead-silver producer in California. It had some of the richest zinc in the United States. 2,000 people, 200 buildings, 7 saloons, 3 brothels, and the Chinatown due north of us. It's all documented in 6 books. This was the biggest attraction in California in its time. More people than Lone Pine at one time. Daily stagecoach. There was a toll booth. 2.2 miles down that road, 25 cents for a horse to ride and $1 for a wagon, up or down.
That's
The
probably
owner,
expensive, huh?
Oh yeah, Mortimer and Belshaw owned this town, and he had this attitude: if you don't like it, don't come up. You don't want to work, I'll get the next guy. They did a movie scene here for Night Passage with that bucket in the scene.
How long have you been up here?
Too long, 21 years on and off.
Yep.
The last 9 full years up here.
Yep.
And you're too tall to be a miner, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You'd have to be.
The dining room and bar area was amazing, but the caretaker said he had something else in back that we must see.
There's actually a bullet hole that goes
Oh, yeah.
all the way through the wall.
Betcha.
Shotgun blast pattern there, and the blood stain right below the bullet hole. And this was Alfonso Benoit who was killed in here. And once in a while, his apparition comes around and makes a little rattle or a little knock on the wall or something. Yeah. Lewis and Cornelia Gordon, the 3rd era, 1911. Cerro Gordo didn't die like Bodie. Have you ever heard of Bodie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest preserved ghost town in California. We're the best preserved.
This is amazing.
Now, if you were a miner with 7 or 8 fingers, you'd have trouble counting a 10. These are original cards. They don't have numbers on them.
Yeah.
And a lot of miners lost a finger or two. You ever heard of double jacking?
Nope.
It's hard.
You're holding a 3-foot tall drill bit. I'm back here with a 12-pound hammer, and I strike the bit, and you twist it a quarter turn, and we try to get into a perfect rhythm. What happens if you sneeze? Is I came down with that 12-pound hammer. I can't pull off. A lot of miners lost a digit or two. Then you drove by the dynamite vault on your way up here.
Yeah,
That's a cement building with the
Yeah,
idea.
we were wondering what that was.
Maybe you've heard of Alfred Nobel. Belshaw's partner Egbert Judson met Nobel in San Francisco in 1868 and got the patent rights to make the gelatin nitro.
Huh.
I'm still a licensed blaster for 42 years. It's a blast. There's 50 miles of mine below us. It's a maze of drifts, shafts, tunnels, adits. You can't call a mine a tunnel unless it goes through point A to point B. It's an adit starting in and a drift following the contour of the vein. And that's not the ceiling, it's an overhead. Here it was a galena lead silver ore. Lead was the major product.
Okay.
Shotgun pellets, bullets, cannonballs, lead sheeting, lead pipe, babbitt for bearings, lead paint, leaded fuel additive, and wheel weights. And it's died off now. Lead's worth, well, 92 cents a pound this month. It's still good for radiation suppression and then flashing for roofing. So no more shotgun pellets. Well, no more wheel weights either. And then they're trying to get rid of diving weights and fishing weights, which will really put a damper on the lead mining. Seriously. Well,
Appreciate
shame you didn't have more time.
Yeah, it
A
is.
little
We
bit
just
lighter.
kind of got behind. We're covering so much ground every day that we're always struggling to get places, and
I understand that.
we are.
No, this was super awesome, man. I appreciate it. This is cool.
We have our Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner in here.
What an amazing place. After graciously receiving firewood and some cautious advice, we headed east and down towards Death Valley. We were told this road can get pretty nasty, and it was. A breakdown in these parts could be a fatal issue. A few bumpy hours later, we pulled up to camp right by Racetrack Playa and prepared to cook a delicious desert feast under the stars. This campsite was located in such a barren place, but we had everything we needed to feel right at home. Cutting the fat out of the chuck roast and then slicing it thin, we used it to render out an oil to brown the meat in. We're not skipping any steps here. Did I mention how insane the stars were? The smells of a simmering beef stew really put you at ease no matter where you are. Ultimately, the stew and campout were simply a pre-game meal for us before seeing one of the most photographical sights on Earth, Racetrack Playa. We were mentally ready to head over at dawn to finally see this legendary sight, but the food mixed with the clear starry night sky was a life-changing experience in itself. We knew just a few moments away lay the racetrack, and we couldn't wait to finally see it. But for the time being, the universe above really kept us frozen in place, reminding us how small we really are.